Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. How are you? It's Wednesday. We made it to the middle of the week. So hope that you're doing well. Hope that you and your family are safe in your part of the world. I'm so happy that I get to have viewers from all over the world. It's nice to see the variety of people, but it also makes me worried. It makes me worried for some of you. As far as hoping that people are good, that people are keeping warm or keeping cool or whatever, depending on weather patterns and all that. So I hope that everything is good on your end, everything is great on my end, and we get to spend another bit of time here together talking about data science. So really happy to have you here, really grateful that we get to spend this time together. And, really nice to think about this community that we continue to build. So really appreciate all of you that are here. It's been funny because I've been having a lot of discussions recently about how I'm going to be reaching 100,000 followers on YouTube very soon, sometime in the next week here. So it's made me think more about the community and the people, the number of people that is. And, it just always speaks to the global demand and the global interest for data science. So for those of you that are just joining, I'm always getting new followers, so I always like to give kind of like the layout of the chat. We always ask people to introduce themselves, let us know your city, state, country, province, and that's it. That's all you have to tell us. It's just an easy way for you to participate, be part of the chat, be professional. So if you do that, you're participating in what we call our global roll call. After that, sometimes I give an opening note, sometimes I don't, it just depends. And then I take your questions. So whatever questions you might have on your career, on studies, on projects, on job challenges, whatever you'd like, please go ahead and we try to help you with that. That for me makes it fun because that means there's no set agenda. Every conversation, every stream is completely different. And that's a good thing. That's what makes it fun for me, And by the way, next time you have like a data science influencer that you're following, ask them to do a live stream. Ask them to do a live stream and take on all questions. Most of them can't. So that's one of the reasons why I do this, because I think it's fun and it's just one of the abilities I have because I'm speaking from my experience, from what has been my reality working out there in the field, right? So glad to be doing that with all of you, and we'll go as long as the questions keep coming, or people are curious, or whatever the case may be. Okay, so let me post my reminder on my Instagram just to remind people to introduce themselves. I didn't do that there yet. But I did also make another posting to my moderators today. And I was telling them about how I'm, looking ahead to doing the 100K live stream. We're going to do a special long live stream for the 100K. I'm going to make it intentionally long so that nobody can miss it, because I screwed up so bad for the 50K. For the 50K, I started the stream way too late. People didn't get a chance to join, and I feel bad about that. That was my fault, the way I timed it. So the magic number that we're all looking for is 99,300. At that level is when I'm going to start the stream, and then 100,000 should come sometime in the next 6 to 12 hours after that. So that's the plan, guys. The plan is that we're going to start at 99,300, and I'm going to just run the stream however long it is to get to 100,000. I think it's 6 to 12 hours. We'll see how good my forecasting skills are. But that's what we're going to be doing for the 100,000 celebration. So I hope that you're there. It's not every day that you get to see the numbers turn over to 100,000. So, less than 1% of channels reach that level on YouTube is what I've found online. I think it's less than half a percent of active channels reach that. So would love to have you there. Look for those announcements to come around this time next week. My analytics say I should reach it like next Thursday, next Friday, excuse me, next Wednesday, next Thursday, something like that. So watch for those announcements to come. It could come at any time. Right? It could be in the middle of the night for me, right? But I'm still gonna wake up. I'm gonna have my coffee and make sure that I'm here for you guys. Make sure that I'm able to stay awake and host the stream. So that's something coming up for you guys. Okay. So keep that in mind, and yeah, that should be a fun celebration. I'm actually working on a special video for 100K. I have to do some more editing on that later today. Yeah, it'll be fun to celebrate that together. All right. So again, if you're new, if you're just joining us, please let us know your city, state, country, province, and we'll kind of go from there. Okay. So I'm already seeing people in my chat. So let me go ahead and start acknowledging some of those. Is it Gurav? I think it's Gurav on Instagram. Gurav, let us know where you're from, okay? We usually ask people to introduce themselves. Yassine is here. Yassine, our good friend from Tangier, Morocco. How are you, Yassine? Hope you're doing well. Hope your studies are going well. I know that last time you were telling us about a project you were working on, but I think you said it finished. So let us know how you're doing, Yassine. Hope you're doing well. Hope that everything is treating you well out there in Tangier, Morocco. Must be beautiful out there right now. Lalman, our good friend Lalman. Lalman, you are from Nepal? I believe Lalman's from Nepal. Hey Dennis, how are you? Glad to be back. I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Yesterday I finished my stream and then I went out for a very long walk. I did 6 miles yesterday. That's 10 kilometers. So I did 10 kilometers yesterday. Had a good time doing that. Came back, and then I had to take my dog to get his shots, his rabies shots and all that. And then came back, did some shopping, had my lunch. I was so hungry by the time I got to have my lunch. And yeah, just had a really good day yesterday. So glad to be back. Glad you're back too. So thanks for coming. Let me know if I was right about Nepal. I think you're from Nepal. So hope you're doing well. Denelson, our good friend Denelson says, hello everyone. How's everyone's week coming along? You know what? That's a good question. How is everyone's week going? Let me know in the chat if you'd like to share how your week is going. If you're having a good week, that's good. Let us know. If you're having a bad week, let us know that too. Maybe the group can collectively support you in some way. But my week is going well, Denelson. My week is been pretty busy this week. Lots of a combination of things, but I've also done a lot of walking this week. So I'm really glad I'm getting my exercise in, feeling good. So yeah. But hope you're having a good week too, Denelson. Rex, our good friend Rex from over on Twitch. Rex, thank you so much for being such a consistent moderator. Rex is by far my most consistent moderator, so thank you for that. Again, guys, if you see one of my moderators, give them a thank you, follow their channels. They do this on a volunteer basis, so really appreciate them. Rex says, it's chilly in NYC. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, but it's supposed to be chilly, right? I mean, I miss New York City in the fall. I really do. So I'm kind of jealous of you, Rex. Hopefully you're not too cold out there. But yeah, New York City in the fall is beautiful. Rex, I can't remember if I even asked you this. What part of the city did you say you were in? Did you say you were in Brooklyn? Or was it Queens? Where are you actually in New York City? Let me know. Let me know if you're comfortable sharing that. Osama, our good friend Osama says, hello, sir. Hope everything is going well. Everything is going real well. How are things going for you out there in Satat? Hope that you're doing well. Hope that your family's good. But yeah, everything is going really well here. I try to take an optimistic view of life, right? Anytime that you're above ground, that you're walking, that you're not in the hospital, that you're feeling good, every time you can do that, then it's a good day, right? So everything is going very well. Starry Vibes is here. Hello, sir. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing very well. Hope you're doing well too. Yeah, if there's anything going on, Starry Vibes, or anything we can help you with, let us know in the chat. But yeah, everything is going real well, and I hope the same for you and your family. Lalman says, you were spot on with Nepal, Kathmandu in Nepal to be specific. Okay, so, that's a pretty good question for the chat, guys. So I'm going to show my ignorance here. All right. You know, it's okay for a scientist to say, hey, look, I don't know the answer here. Right. So I'm going to show my ignorance here. I can't name another city in Nepal. Can anybody else do that? Like, I think most people know Kathmandu, right? But can anybody else name another city in Nepal? Drop another Nepalese city name in the chat if you know one. I can't. You know, and again, I'm showing my ignorance. I apologize. But, I mean, I don't know if anybody knows any other cities in Nepal. Let me know. Let me know in the chat. I really could not name one. Rex, yes, I think you're right. I'm trying to fix the Instagram. Give me just a second on that. But yeah, Rex, something is wrong with Instagram. Where am I? See if I can't fix that. Oh, did that completely die on me? That might have completely died on me. Give me just a second here, guys. I have to fix the Instagram feed. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. So I use a restreaming service that helps me push out to multiple platforms. And so in other words, I don't push directly to Instagram. I push to my service first and then it pushes again. But for some reason, it kind of always has little hiccups that it goes through. But yeah, I think we should be back on Instagram. Yeah, we should be okay there. Yeah, so if you're on Instagram, sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but feel free to introduce yourself. Let us know city, state, country, province, and we're happy to welcome you to the community. Ask us questions, do whatever you'd like. So just one more thing I gotta post on Instagram. The introduction. Okay, Rex, I think I see you in there on Instagram. So looks to be back. Okay. All right, sorry about that, guys. Danny Rivers, can you see my messages? Danny, yes, we can. Welcome. It's nice to see people on Twitch. On X. Let us know your city, state, province, country. We always ask people to introduce themselves, okay? But happy to take your questions, Danny. Thanks for being here. Yeah, okay. So I'm not seeing anybody else posting cities of Nepal, right? So Lalman, maybe you can educate us on that. But I can't name any other cities in Nepal. I feel ignorant saying that, but I'm being honest. Rex says, my week is going pretty well. Lots to learn and things to look forward to. Yeah, Rex, I know that you're really ambitious about data science. So I'm assuming you're referring to data science items. Yeah, it's always good to be learning, always good to be moving forward, always good to be developing your mind. You know, they say that helps you in later in life when you're an old man. You're an old man like me. One of the things I learned this week is how much people love Elon Musk. Oh my gosh. The video I posted about the Tesla Android robots got way too much attention. Way too many people out there that are very voracious about expressing their love for Elon Musk. So very interesting and very disturbing at the same time. But that's what I learned this week. So if you guys want to share what you learned this week, that was my biggest takeaway this week, that there are people out there who really, really, really love Elon Musk. and they are very happy to tell you about it. So that was my learning, Rex. Let me know if you learned what you learned this week. Okay, let me get rid of Danny, we really don't do any political talk here, so I'm gonna have to ban you. Sorry. Well, I'm gonna have to actually mute you here. Sorry, guys. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I don't have a moderator over on X, but we really don't have I'd like to think, if you guys want to give me some feedback, but I'd like to think that we really don't have a lot of problems with spam in this channel, generally speaking. Every once in a while it happens, but generally speaking, I think we do pretty good on keeping the spam down. It's one of the reasons why I'm so adamant about everybody introducing themselves, because I think it keeps the chat professional. But yeah, sorry about that, guys. It's too many weird things happening this morning with the streams and the chats and all that. Okay, so Yassine says, I'm doing well, sir. Thank you. Yes, the project is finished now. Okay, good, Yassine. Good. And I hope the rest of your studies are going well, because I think you were doing those projects apart from your studies. So I hope the rest of your subjects are also going well and all that. Okay. So Dame Sharif, Dame, welcome. I think it's your first time. Welcome to the chat. Glad you're here. So Dame asks, hey, I live in Dublin. Cool. Always nice to see Western European followers. I'm new to the market. How do I stand out in the market for data science role, given I have a master's in CS? So Dame, you'd have to give us a lot more information. A master's in CS isn't always conducive to getting a role, right? Should you be standing out? Yeah, why the switch? I mean, a master's in CS, you've made a big commitment to CS, so why not stay with that? What's pushing you to data science? Why? Yeah, you'd have to give us all those answers first. So if you want to give me more info, I'm happy to help you. Let's develop this thread a little bit. But you're a CS, not a data scientist, right? So let us know. What I don't want people sharing anything they're uncomfortable talking about. So whatever you're comfortable sharing, let us know. But you'd have to give me more info to work on that, right? Because yeah, I mean, these are the same questions that a hiring manager would ask you, right? I mean, you're already standing out. You're standing out because you're a CS major applying for DS jobs. Why? So let me know. Manoj, your good friend Manoj is here. Namaste, Sir Dennis, and everyone from Bangalore. Manoj from Bangalore, India. Manoj, always good to see you here. Such a consistent supporter. Really appreciate you. Hope that you're doing well. Hope that everything is good out there in Bangalore. Manoj, I really enjoyed the discussion we had this past Sunday regarding that efficient frontier and the way we're applying it to the class, or to the series, I should say. I knew very little about that, but it makes sense that there is something out there that's focused just on the portfolio side of things, right? Not just individual stocks. So I really appreciate that you suggested that one, and I think people are learning from it. I think it also helps to have a model that's not like a fit model, right? That's like the lazy loader model. And it's also good to see something that's like a Monte Carlo, right? Because people don't generally think about Monte Carlos as something that's valid for modeling, but it's actually, quite useful. So really grateful that you suggested that model. and that we're sticking with it. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, on Sundays, I have a live stream, same time that this stream started, but it's a completely different format. It's a long tutorial. We tend to go at least 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours. And I do it as a series. Every Sunday is a part of a series. And right now we are in the middle of building a data science project from the ground up, right? We are taking a data science project and we are saying, hey, this is how an entire project comes together. We're following a methodology and we're going to see it from the very beginning all the way to the very end to deployment and all that stuff. So really great series, getting a lot of really great feedback, a lot of really great participation. So if you want to join us for that, you're welcome to do that Sunday, 1500 GMT, which is the same time that this stream started today. So if you joined us today, just same time, different day. But glad you're here, Manoj, and hope you're well. Joseph, our good friend Joseph says, morning, Dennis and everyone. Hey, Joseph, how are you? Hope you're doing well out there in Tennessee. Let us know how you're doing, Joseph, if there's anything we can help you with. But glad you're here, and thank you for being one of my moderators. Again, guys, if you see these moderators, let them know you appreciate their help, or follow their channels, because they help me out a lot with some of the messaging and whatnot. All right, so anybody else that wants to introduce themselves, now is a good time for it. Or if you have a question, you want to ask something you want to discuss, something you read, now's a good time for it. Okay, so let me know. You guys set the agenda when it comes to these meetings, right? I love coming in here and just answering different things that people come up with. But let me know if there's anything I can help you with, or you want to just kind of get some help from the community, or just kind of something's going great, something's not going so great. Let us know. Joseph says, doing well, Dennis, currently working on a cool personal project with some biometric parameters. Oh, okay. Is that relating to your running? Or I also know you like the keto diet. Is that related to that? Or, let us know if there's anything you can share from that. On a personal project. Nice. Very cool to see people developing their own personal ideas. Good for you, Joseph. Let us know if you can, whatever you feel comfortable talking about that. Welcome back. Is it Tejeshwar? I think it's what it is. Tejeshwar? Or can we just call you Parmar? Let me know what you prefer. But yeah, welcome back. I remember you from last week. Morning, Dennis. Oh, it's Tej. Duh, it's right in your message. Tej, welcome back. Glad to see that you're back. Morning, Dennis. Tej from Bentonville, Arkansas, I believe, right? Whenever I think of Bentonville, I think of a Walmart, right? I think Walmart's the dominant employer there. So hope you're doing well out there. Correct, Tej works. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know why I just didn't read your message. That was kind of dumb. Okay, Tej, well, welcome back. I'm always encouraged to see people coming back, helps me feel like maybe I'm on the right track. So thanks for that. Hi, I'm Sunny from Namibia. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Well, welcome, Sunny. You're not new. I think you've been here one time before. But either way, you're welcome back, or welcome. Yeah, love seeing more people joining the community. Thanks for introducing yourself. Hope that you're doing well out there, Sunny. If there's anything else that we can help you with, any questions or anything else you want to tell us about yourself, you're welcome to do that. But thanks for being here, Sunny. Okay, so Manoj is going to propose a question here. And feel free to introduce yourself. Feel free to ask questions, whatever you'd like. Manoj says, sir, do they do factor analysis and cluster analysis while doing EDA? Sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes. It's not common, but it is possible. Or I have seen it. So for, I know we have differing levels, right? So just so we're clear, everybody's on the same footing. EDA refers to exploratory data analysis, right? And generally speaking, when we're talking about EDA, we're talking about still being very early in your project. You can do EDA anytime, or excuse me, you can repeat EDA anytime later in your project. But EDA is something that you typically want to do early in your project, right? So Manoj is asking, do they do factor analysis and cluster analysis while doing EDA? So Manoj, I'm pretty sure that you attended the first series I did on the Introduction to Statistical Learning book. So if you remember about some cluster methods, I mentioned that cluster methods are very effective, or I shouldn't say very, in a lot of cases, they can be effective in turning an unsupervised problem into a supervised problem, right? So this is where I've seen EDA used the most, along with cluster analysis, because there are some problems that you kind of don't want to tackle as an unsupervised problem for any number of reasons. There could be a number of reasons for that. So yeah, while you're in the EDA stage, you might say, let me try to get some clusters. Because guess what? If you can do that, if you can get clusters in an unsupervised way, then the clusters themselves become labels, right? The clusters themselves can end up telling you what the labels are. And if you have labels, then you have a supervised problem, right? So in other words, you can go from unsupervised data, an unsupervised problem, do some EDA on it, do the clustering work on it, and then that tells you the labels you should have. And then now you get to a labeled data set. And if you can get to a labeled data set, or at least a sample of your data set, then you're on your way to solving it as a supervised problem. So that's what I mean where I've seen it, but it's not like common. But that is definitely the most common implementation that I've seen when it comes to involving cluster analysis that early on in a project, during the EDA phase. So that's where I have seen it used. I suppose there could be other examples or other reasons why you would do that. But that's the best advice I can give you. I've done that myself. I have been in situations where you decide that you're better off pursuing something as a supervised problem. So yeah, I mean, you can bootstrap your way into a supervised problem by doing that. So I hope that makes sense, Manoj. If not, let me know in the chat. But that's where I've seen it used the most. So Doobie Sports, hi, I'm Dushan from Sri Lanka. Welcome, Dushan. Glad to see you here. Pretty sure it's your first time. Thank you for stepping out and letting us know more about you. We have a couple of viewers from Sri Lanka. Believe it or not, you're not our first one. But welcome. Anything else you want to share? Any questions we can help you with? Feel free to let us know. Okay. Sunny says, I'm new here. Just started my self-learning journey on data science. Great. Congratulations. And you were from Namibia. Yeah, from Namibia. Congratulations. Getting started is half the battle, right? Getting started and committing to it is something that most people don't end up doing. So good for you for doing it. Let us know how we can help you and support you. Just keep at it. Just keep at it, okay? It's not always going to be easy, but you got to keep at it. Joseph says, yes, it's related to keto and running. Very cool. Very cool. There's so much data that you can collect now on the human body, right? I've been toying with the idea of at some point getting one of those continuous glucose monitors to help you understand the effects that different foods have on your blood sugar and things like that. I think that's really interesting. So let me know if there's anything else you can share there, Joseph, because I know a lot of keto people are interested in blood sugar levels and all that, right? Okay. Joseph says, been toying with continuous glucose monitors too. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen them, but there's a guy on YouTube who has like tons and tons of followers, And all he does is try different foods with the glucose monitor, and he just reports them. All he does, no, I think he has long form videos too, but he mostly does shorts. And he's gotten a ton of followers just on shorts talking about his blood sugar and, you know, and taking the readings from the apps and all that. But yeah, you know, I'd love to get one of those at some point. I think I'd be too chicken to apply it though, because, you know, you got to apply it yourself. Ugh. Ahmed, we asked people to introduce themselves, so let us know your city, state, country, province. Okay, thanks for joining. But let us know that, okay? Manoj says, yes, I do remember. Got it. Okay, cool, Joseph. Cool, Manoj. I hope that helps you. Hey, Nitin, we asked people to introduce themselves. Let us know your city, state, country, province, okay? Thank you for that. Thanks for being here. Joseph says, if you remember who it is, I would be interested. Yeah, Joseph, next time I find the guy, I'll send him to you. I'm pretty sure he's mostly on YouTube, he's like a YouTube Shorts guy. And I believe he also says he's a type 2 diabetic. But yeah, you know, he just sits there with a glucose monitor all day and posts his stuff. It's crazy. IARC Sim. Well, I think we'll just call you Sim. Sim, thanks for being here. Really appreciate you. We always ask people to introduce themselves. Let us know your city, state, province, country. I recognize you because you were one of the commenters in the Elon Musk videos yesterday, the Android videos. But we do always ask people to introduce themselves, you know, to join, to be a part of the community. So thank you for that. Okay, so Yassine says, can you please give some guidance for my question? After deploying a model, what are the factors to consider when choosing how often we adapt the model weights with future data? Great question, Yassine. Great question. So here's the reason why I think this is a great question for everyone else in the chat. No one talks about this. No one ever tells you about model maintenance, right? And that's part of my book. If you guys want to support me, your first year in data science, it's available on Amazon. No one tells you about model maintenance, right? I don't know any academic institutions, no matter how big or small, that are teaching this or even talking about it. So Yassine's asking a really good question as far as adapting the model weights with future data. So here's the thing, Yassine. It's a two-part answer, right? The first answer is that sometimes it will be dictated to you. There is sometimes you will work for organizations that have policies around this. Usually they start from the model review teams, right? So in case you guys don't know, another thing that you're going to be introduced to is model review teams or the process or whatnot. Usually before you deploy an algorithm, it has to go through a model review. And that will usually be a team that didn't work on your project, right? So it's not going to be like your colleagues. It's going to be like an outside team, still within your company, but sometimes it is like an external auditor that comes in and they will review your model, your results, your code, all that stuff. And they have to give you a sign off before you can deploy. And that's part of policy, right? In most corporate environments. In addition to that, part of that policy is usually that they will do a review. So Yassine, that's what I mean by it might be dictated to you, where they'll tell you, hey, we'll sign you off and you can deploy, but we're going to go through this same process every year and you have to show me the refreshed results with recent data from the business. Right? Like that's a very common policy. The only difference is how often. Most policies I've seen will assign a criticality level to your model, and then the review schedule is based on that critical level. So the more critical your model is deemed to be, the more often they will review it, like quarterly. So that's like a lot, right? Every 3 months you have to produce refresh data that shows that your model is still okay. Well, you don't decide if it's okay. They decide if it's okay, and then they might ask you to, to rebuild it or whatever, right? So that's one thing. That it might be dictated by policy, and the policy will differ, right? The policy will differ based on the critical level, your internal policies, things along those lines. So, having said all of that, because I know not all of you work in corporate environments, some of you are just working on personal projects, things along those lines. The bigger understanding that you should have is that models degrade over time. Nobody tells you that in school, right? Nobody tells you that in school. But models degrade. Models are not a set it and forget it thing. I built it, I put it out there, and it's just going to run forever. Models aren't like that. It's mostly due to just changing business environments, changing requirements, but really what you're really saying is that it's changing data, right? Because if you're working on a transaction model, a sales model, or something else, those values, right? The range of your potential values can change at any given time, right? Presumably your company, your enterprise would grow, right? So a model that you wrote 2 years ago may not have the same range of values, which is really to say the same distribution of values that it had when you trained your model, right? So you as a data scientist should have that recognition, and you should be willing to review your data at certain points, right? So there's many ways to go about it, many models you could use. But as a simple model, you could say, well, look, I know what I launched with. I know what my confusion matrix looked like when I launched. So every month or every 5 months, whatever you want to do, twice a year, I'm going to go ahead and rerun my model against fresh data, right? My validation set is going to be data from this quarter, from this month, from this week, whatever you want it to be. And then I'm going to give a tolerance. I want to be within 2 percentage points of where my initial confusion matrix numbers were. Right? I mean, that's probably a valid model for things like that. You can go about it any way you want, but what I'm saying is, it's kind of like the responsible thing to do. To say, hey, I'm still going to be kind of test my models at certain intervals, because I have to realize that data is different, data changes, data grows, data shrinks, data distributes differently. So as my general professional practice, I'm going to retest my models. Okay? But that's what I would do, Yassine, right? The how often is kind of up to you, but again, you could tie it to the critical level of the model, the number of times the model is used in a day, maybe also, right? There's some models that you only use a couple times a year, maybe. But that's what I would tell you. Sometimes it's dictated to you, other times you can choose it. Either way, as part of a professional practice, you should be doing it, period. Okay? So I hope that helps you, Yassine. Okay, so Ahmed says, they're Rocco from Canada, Ontario. Very cool. Always nice to see Canadian people. Done a lot of work in Canada. Okay, so Rocco says, hey Dennis, I'd love to get your opinion on something. How does working as a data scientist in industry compare to, I think you said academia, right? Compared to academia in terms of creative freedom and the type of project you work on? Yeah, that's a really good question. I haven't done a lot of work in academia, but I have friends who have, and I've met plenty of people that have come out of that world. If you're looking to be creative in data science, like the creativity part of data science really appeals to you, You know, I'm gonna say that I think it'd be really hard for you to find that in academia. I think it's 10 times easier to be creative in the corporate world. The reason I say that is because in the corporate world, there's so many more, it's so much more of an open field, right? It's so much more of like people will be much more accepting of your ideas no matter how crazy they are or how crazy they sound. I just think it's easier for you to kind of put those crazy ideas out there that nobody else is thinking about, right? So contrast that to academia, right? Oh, and also, well, let me come back to, there's a second reason I want to give for this. But contrast that to academia, right? Unless you're like a really long time tenured professor at some big university, you're always going to be working for somebody else, right? Like you're always working under another professor, under a particular research lab or something like that, right? So for me, that feels very like crowded in because they will define your area of research, right? If your professor isn't interested in text data or NLP, then you won't be working in NLP no matter what you say, right? So to me, that just feels a lot more confining. Like if you're really looking to be creative, then like I wouldn't even be considering academia at all. And then the second reason I would say is that in corporate environments, you know, you're basically paid to have an impact. You're basically paid to create an ROI, create a business impact. And, you know, to say it another way, you're paid to deploy a model, right? You're not paid for theoretics in corporate environments. In academia, I mean, that's going to be a lot of what you do, right? Very few academic projects kind of make it out of there and become a startup, right? I mean, I know it's happened, right? But it's not common, right? So maybe that's more of a personal preference thing, but I like seeing my projects deployed. I like my projects out there. So academia to me, I think would be kind of boring in that regard. Like, yes, you might make some interesting research and like really good theoretical stuff, but theoretics don't really interest me, right? And I think that if you're a creative person, they wouldn't interest you either, right? So that's what I would tell you, Rocco. You know, let me know, you know, because I realize that I'm sharing some of my personal bias, and maybe you are interested in academia. I don't know, but that's what I would tell you. That academia would just feel very constraining and way too theoretical, right? So, yeah, that's my take on it. Okay, so thanks for the introduction here. I'm Josh from Windsor, Ontario. Well, we have two people from Canada today. That's crazy. I'm Josh from Windsor, Ontario. I'm a software developer many years. I'm making a personal that could take advantage of some machine learning. I'm going to say personal project that could take advantage of some machine learning techniques. Cool. IRCSim is the name of an old simulator I made to help people test self-driving software for IRC, a university autonomous robot racing competition. Okay, very cool. Those cars were mostly modified remote control cars. Okay, very cool. Very cool. Whoops, I meant to say, okay, personal project. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Is that what do they call them? I've seen some videos where they have the cars that they do like the rat mazes. I think it's called like the car rat race or something like that, you know, where they do the rat maze and they're supposed to be able to navigate it and remember where they went and all that. I think they're really popular in Japan, if I remember right. Is that the kind of competition you're talking about? Because I think that's aimed at universities. Let us know if you're able to share on that. International Robot Racing Challenge is the full name of IRS. Yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've seen those on videos. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Some of those cars are fast. They can go through these mazes super quick. I love that. Okay, yeah. So let me see. Okay, so your question before. So thanks for your introduction. Love the background. Welcome. And like I said, I think that we were aligned in our views yesterday about the Elon Musk stuff. So thanks for participating in that video discussion. Would diabetes make the readings more useful from a continuous glucose monitor? I imagine healthy people would balance their blood sugar levels no matter how bad the food is. You know, that's a good question. And Joseph, maybe you know more about this than I do. But so here's the thing, Josh. The way I understand it is that it's not so much about controlling it. It's about the spikes, right? Because the spikes are bad for diabetics because they can't bring it back down. Whereas, you know, a non-diabetic should be able to bring it back down, right? But I think that the underlying theory behind all of these diets, keto, low carb, Atkins, whatever, you know, it all comes back to the blood sugar. And the theory is that once you've spiked, like for the day or for, you know, a couple hours or whatever, like your body says, okay, I can't burn any fat. So just the spike alone is still negative or detrimental to losing weight, no matter whether you're diabetic or not. That's my understanding. That it's not so much about how do you respond to it, it's about preventing the spikes. Because that's why they say, like on keto or whatever, they tell you, oh, you can eat all this food. And it's true, you can eat a lot on keto, you won't feel starved, but it's because you never spike. And as long as you never spike, then you're at least giving yourself a chance to lose weight. That's my understanding of it. And I'm not trying to put myself out there as a medical professional. But I do have a coach. You know, I have a coach for this. He's a professional athlete. He specializes in the keto diet. That's why I signed up with him. But that's just been my understanding. That, you know, regardless of your health, it's that spike that kills you. So if you wake up in the morning and you have a package of candy that spikes your blood sugar, like you're done. You're done. You're not going to lose weight that day, no matter who you are, no matter what you eat the rest of the day, no matter how much exercise you do the rest of the day. So that's really kind of like where that continuous monitoring goes. Can I find the foods that keep me flat throughout the day? So Joseph, you know, it sounds like you're educated on this, so please feel free to let me know. But that's my understanding of it, Josh, that it's all about preventing the spike to begin with. Tully, thanks for coming. I see you on YouTube. Tully, we always ask people to introduce themselves. Let us know your city, state, province, country, all that good stuff. You know, because that way, you know, we keep the chat professional. It's a good way for you to participate. But, you know, you're welcome to let us know more about you. Okay? Yassine says, thank you, sir. It was very helpful. Yeah, thank you, Yassine. It was a good question, right? And you know, Yassine, I love those questions because that's exactly part of what I want to help everybody out with, right? That there's a lot of things that are not taught in academia, in data science education programs, whatever you want to call them. So that's what I'm trying to fill here, right? I'm trying to show you guys the real world side of data science. I recognize that some of these things would be very difficult to teach, right? Like it's very difficult to teach or show you hands-on experience on maintaining a model or on a big data environment or on how to actually deploy a model within another software package, right? But these are really, really important skills for, you know, whatever data science you want to do in the future. So thanks for the question. It's a good question. And, you know, I think it also speaks to your learning path, Yassine, because I know that you're really ambitious about data science. You know, you sound like a smart guy. So, you know, I'm glad that you're thinking about this because these are the things that are going to help you stand out as a candidate, are going to help you add to those skills that make you ready on your first day, right? So good questions. Good questions. So if you're still joining us late, we always ask people to introduce themselves. It's part of our global roll call. Let us know your city, state, province, country if you're new. And that's all you have to tell us. No one's gonna call on you more or anything. But it's a way to keep the chat professional. It's a good way for us to practice how we carry ourselves and all that, okay? All right, so Tully says, David from Kenya. Welcome, David. Glad to have you here. Yeah, lots of viewers from Kenya, so really appreciate you. Okay, so David asks, kinda new, wanted to ask if modeling in neural networks follows the same pattern as machine learning data science. Yes. It depends on what you mean by pattern. When you say pattern, I'm assuming you mean like a methodology or an approach. Yeah, sure. Absolutely it does. Just like any other model, neural networks give you a confusion matrix to work from, right? They give you a confusion matrix that tells you, hey, you should be, these are your results, right? You can, just like any other model, you can use it for classification, you can use it for prediction, right? So yeah, absolutely. The modeling in neural networks is the same. The sizing might be different. Neural networks tend to be larger. They tend to take more time to process. The way you handle inputs might be different, right? Neural networks usually benefit from scaling your inputs. Not every model requires that. Neural networks are usually also very, very helpful for models that require a lot of inputs, right? Not every model out there is appropriate for a large number of inputs, right? Like you probably wouldn't want to do a decision tree with a model that has a lot of inputs, right? Like that's usually not a good idea. Same goes for other couple of models. But yeah, totally. Overall, like the methodology and like the metrics that you're looking for, the way you're evaluating it, the results that you get from it, yeah, sure. There's not a ton of difference there. So, hope that answers your question. If not, let me know. But it's a good question. A lot of people. One of the things I found is that not a lot of people. There's still a number of people that need help with understanding neural networks. So once we finish this Sunday series, my next series is going to be on neural networks. So again, for those of you that don't know, on Sundays, I tend to run a longer tutorial series. So on Sundays, we do a learning series. Right now, we're in the middle of doing a data science project from the ground up. We have a couple of really good ideas that we're going to move forward with. And we're going to see that all the way to deployment. We just finished part 6. This Sunday will be part 7. So you're welcome to join us for that. And then after that, I'm going to do a series on neural networks. That series is probably going to be after the new year because I have a lot of content coming up in January I want to share with you guys. But we're going to do a series on neural networks to help people because I personally think neural networks are super powerful. And I think everybody would benefit from that. As I mentioned in one of my Sunday tutorials before, obviously you don't want to be biased towards a particular model. You want to be open to whatever the solution might be, right? But the reason I want to teach neural networks is because when I was on my learning journey, I discovered neural networks like a year into it. So I was already pretty well versed. I'd already taken quite a few courses, done some projects, right? But then I looked at neural networks, and that's when the power of data science really exploded in my mind, right? That's when I was like, oh, that's why these are so powerful. I get it. Like it really made sense, So totally, I kind of understand why you would ask that question. Because, neural networks can still be mysterious, even if you are somebody who studied data science, because it sounds like you have. But yeah, I'm definitely going to do a series on neural networks, once the new year is around. Yassine says, "Thank you, sir. You contribute a lot to my progress. I owe you so much." I appreciate that. I'm just trying to put good stuff out to the world, right? And hopefully, if you do that, good stuff comes back to you, right? But yeah, I'm just trying to give you guys real world advice. So yeah, I mean, your professors probably aren't going to be talking to you about post deployment activities that are required, right? But they're very important as part of a data science practice. All right, everybody, lots of new people in the chat today. So thank you so much for being willing to introduce yourself and kind of step out of the shadows. Again, look out for my announcement next week when we're going to have the 100K live stream. That's going to be fun. Either way, between now and then, I stream every day, 1500 GMT. So please keep on coming back. Let me know how you're doing, and keep on bringing questions, and I'll keep on being here, right? Because I mean, this is what I do. This is what I'm passionate about. So as long as you guys have questions, I'll be here. So thank you, everybody. We'll stream again tomorrow, 1500 GMT. But until then, it's a crazy times, crazy world we live in. So please take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and I'll see you next time.